Hey guys, it's Meg again, and I am back with another video for you today. So I am going to talk to you about what is happening to the New York City subways. It's a problem. New York City subways are literally the heartbeat of New York because millions and millions of people ride the subways every day in New York City because it's their mode of transportation. This is why you don't need a car in New York unless you are, like an Uber driver or a taxi cab driver or something like that. Some people have a car that live in the boroughs outside of Manhattan, like the Bronx and Brooklyn and Queens, because those boroughs are way more spread out than Manhattan, and there's street parking, there's streets, it's more like a neighborhood feel. It's really kind of a hindrance to have a car in Manhattan, like where I live, because you have to pay crazy fees to have it parked like in a garage, or obviously like parking on the street isn't expensive, but it's very, very difficult to get parking on the street. Except since the coronavirus, a lot of people have cleared out, and so there's more street parking. But yeah, it's very difficult, usually during usual peak hours, usual busy hours, to find a spot anywhere to park. So it's just not very conducive to have a car in New York. You just really don't need it. That's why I left my car here. That's why I stopped driving, because you can walk everywhere or you can take the subway. So that's why this is a huge problem for New York in terms of reopening, is how are we going to reopen the subway? As soon as coronavirus became a big deal, the first thing to go and the first thing to be less populated was the subway. Obviously we had like Mayor de Blasio and Governor Cuomo telling people that, don't take transit if you don't have to. Right now it's really only reserved for essential workers, supposedly. You can still go into the subway and use it and no one's gonna question you or anything like that. But really, it is really only meant to be for essential workers right now, which is also a problem because no one's using the subway. So MTA is actually losing a ton of money because no one's riding the subway. And our subways are already a mess. They already needed money to be funneled into them. They are already slow, they're already delayed. It was already a problem that, MTA was trying to fix, the state of New York was trying to fix, New York City was trying to fix, because, things just don't run super smoothly with the subways. Unfortunately, that's just how they are. It's not a great system. And, it depends on what line you take too, like the 1, 2, 3, and the 4, 5, 6 are generally pretty efficient. They come pretty often, but other lines that people don't use as often, like the Q, that's always questionable. It just does not come very often, or the L train comes like every 20 minutes, something ridiculous. I'm gonna put here how many people ride the subway on an average day in New York City, and you can just see that it's millions of people. Tourists use it. People that live in New York, everyone uses it as their form of transportation. So this is where it's going to be a problem because, as we know, the lovely coronavirus lives on surfaces like plastic for quite some time, which is probably a big factor that contributed to the spread of the virus in New York City, why so many people have had it and have tested positive for it. The hardest part of reopening New York is going to be the subways. This is what we're facing right now because, again, so many people ride it and so many people get into these trains. It is terrifying. I just don't know how this is going to work when they reopen the city, because can you imagine like the fear of the coronavirus spread, but then like 200 people packing into a small little subway car? I just don't see how that's gonna happen. I'm curious as to what's gonna happen. I've seen in China for like their transit system, what they do is they'll take your temperature like on your wrist to allow you to go into the subway. It's not a bad idea because like social distancing on the subway is almost impossible unless there's like maybe 20 people in the car, like 10 to 20 people. So it's a lot, and they're gonna have to clean them a lot more. That's the other thing, is like New York is a very, very dirty city, and they need to spray down the subways more often. I don't know how often they were cleaning them before. So here's the problem with the subways right now. What's happened since coronavirus, since people have stopped riding the subways? They've, first of all, MTA's lost a ton of money. The other big thing that has become a problem in the subways, which I'm actually really not too surprised about, is the fact that the homeless have taken over because they need shelter. You know, they're not trying to be out in the city. I wouldn't want to be on the streets or anything. And that was a common thing before. So before the coronavirus, you know, homeless people would tend to ride the subways at night and use it as a place to sleep. And they'd ride like one line all the way to the top and to the bottom, just over and over again. That's something extremely common. When I used to get on the subways early in the morning, it was pretty common to see like a homeless person just taking up like a whole area because they had slept there overnight. And usually they're gone by like the end of rush hour. And I don't know what time they come back because I've only seen them early morning, and I think they're usually cleared out before like the rush hour crowd by like 9 o'clock. So that's the problem with the New York City subways right now, is that the homeless have taken over everything. I think they're kind of just living down there because there's no people that are using these subways anymore. Only, again, essential workers, so like grocery store people or nurses or doctors, whoever is riding the subway, and the homeless have taken over. And it's just not an extremely safe situation, unfortunately. And, you know, we really, really need a place for these homeless to go so that they're taken care of and they don't have to worry about getting sick, and that they have a place that they can shelter. That's going to be one of the biggest obstacles, is first of all cleaning up the subway, you know, making sure that it's free of germs, free of the coronavirus, free of any of that, which is going to be very hard. But that's going to be the first obstacle. And the second obstacle is getting people back into riding them, because again, the subways are just, they're usually filthy, they're usually packed full of people. It's just not a great scene. They're just gonna have to really, really, really clean up the subways. Why does it have to get loud when I'm talking? I'm talking to you. So yeah, so there's some unfortunate things that are gonna have to, problems that we're gonna have to face over the next few months of trying to reopen the city and trying to get things kind of back to normal. I know it's not gonna be a regular back to normal, but things are just gonna have to be extremely clean. I would imagine that they'll start taking your temperature at places until we get this vaccine. It's just gonna look very, very different in New York over the summer, which is again unfortunate because the summer is one of the busiest tourist seasons in New York besides Christmas season. So that's gonna affect a lot of people as well. And I feel like quite a few people will unfortunately completely go out of business because of this thing. So it's very sad. It's very sad to think about that a lot of small businesses will never completely recover from that. So yeah, so this is a big challenge that we're gonna face as a city, is reopening the subway, getting it cleaned up, getting it safe for people to ride on. I really don't know how they're gonna control the crowd, how they're gonna do crowd control. So I can only hope for the best. I can only hope that we come up with a good system and good ideas to do all of this stuff. So we'll see what happens over the next few months. I will, of course, keep you guys updated on how everything's going down, especially when I go back to New York. We'll see what challenges we're facing. So again, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my channel. I hope you've enjoyed my videos these past few weeks. I really, really appreciate all the people that keep commenting on my videos. I really appreciate that interaction, and I love talking to you guys down there. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and of course hit that bell notification. All of you guys that help me out are awesome. I love being able to see the subscriber count ticking up. I know it's a little slow, but it's still going up, and I love seeing you guys. So welcome to my new subscribers. But thank you guys for all of your continued support, and I hope you guys are doing well during all of this, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.